Hey everyone, welcome to yet another rambling update video. It's my state of the channel video that I make every year. It is 1:30 in the morning as I'm recording this on Monday, January 3rd. Didn't sleep that much. I fell asleep early. So I got some sleep, but not as much as I wanted to. Um, it is cold. That's why I'm in my robe still and wearing this beanie. It is 30 degrees right now, which is pretty freaking cold, especially for California. But that's what happens when you live in the high desert, which, in case any of you don't know, is a desert that's almost at the same altitude as the mountains. So, yeah, we can get snow up here. um, this is not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the channel and my work in general. We're going to be going over what's going on with YouTube. We're going to go over what's going on with Twitch, TikTok, and my WordPress blog. I will do YouTube first because this is going up on YouTube, but I'm also going to be making update videos or an update video for TikTok and an update post for WordPress. This is the only place you're going to see updates for Twitch though, because Twitch doesn't allow for updating, for pre-recorded videos or even posts like this. So, let's get on with the main point of being here, which is YouTube. This is all unscripted, but I do have kind of like a outline here, so I make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, so at the end of last year, I kind of stepped away a little bit from YouTube because the project that I've been working the most on, which is news videos, were moved over to TikTok as opposed to YouTube Shorts, and then also Instagram Reels. And the format seems to be doing better the way that I'm doing it now, which is reporting on the story and then giving my take on it at the end. And it was not fitting into 1 minute, which is the limit that YouTube has on shorts. So that's why I took it away. I'm going to get into what's going to happen to that new stuff a little bit later because it's part of the new idea that I want to do. But right now, real quick, I want to get back to the stuff that's going to be happening immediately on the channel. And it's something that is not new, and that is Let's Plays are coming back. The thing that I want to try to do this time, though, is give it better editing. I'm also going to have a webcam involved. I'm going to change kind of like how I do the metadata and everything to try to get more people to watch, because if anyone's been following my channel, you know that Let's Plays have just not done well on the channel. And I'm stubborn and I'm determined to make them work. So part of it is me just, trying to be more informative on Let's Plays, because I'm not the kind of person who's really entertaining. I've tried that in the past and that's just not me. Just to really give you like the experience of what it is playing these games. That's why I try not to edit stuff out, and I'm not going to be doing that, but I'm going to try to just put in more creative editing that highlights some of the things about the game, but not removing. Like, I don't want to remove parts of the playlist that, or of the playthrough that is like kind of boring or stuff like that, because that's just how the way that the game is, right? It's also more of like a just chronologically these games, because this is how they play. So the plan is, out of all the times that I've done playthroughs, I've noticed that doing 2 playthroughs at once seems to be what works for me, with 2 episodes a week. So we're going to do Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Now, excuse me, I'm going to try to put them at 10 a.m. as opposed to the normal noon that I normally put my videos up on. Maybe get some water. And I don't have water. Again, because it's January, YouTube has its thing where, ad revenue is terrible and new ideas typically don't do well. So I'm not going to be starting any new playthroughs. The plan right now is to do, first off, um, finish the Yakuza Kiwami 2 playthrough, which was actually a streaming Let's Play over on Twitch. But the last part of the game is not is like blocked off. They don't allow you to stream that part. So I'm going to be doing it just by recording. I might try later on this week to see if I can do it streaming by hooking up my Elgato to the PlayStation 4 and seeing if OBS will read it properly. But I doubt it. I just want to try one more time just to see if maybe something has changed. But most likely I'm going to have to do that as a recording rather than a stream. But yeah, that's going to be first on the docket as a playthrough, and that should be extremely quick because it's literally just a finale that needs to be done. And then I'm coming back to Colorwind Beats Final Fantasy II. That is the only Colorwind Beats that's never been finished. I still have the save file from my attempt that I tried to do last year, so I'm going to continue with that, and God help me, I'm going to freaking finish it. Beyond that, and probably what's going to end up replacing Yakuza Kiwami 2, since, again, there's only one episode left, is Double Dragon Neon, Quake, and Dead Space, which each are different shows. Double Dragon Neon is a Brawler Boys episode, the first one. Quake is the first initial run season, or playthrough, however you want to put it. And Dead Space is the first one of Exposure Therapy. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to be doing with those shows, because another thing that I've noticed is whenever I have a show that's like Colorwind blanks, like Colorwind News, Colorwind Reviews, which I'm getting ahead of myself with that, but Colorwind News, Colorwind Beats, Colorwind Plays, whenever I have my name in it, in the show title, you look up my stuff on searching, and it comes up really quick. Like, the brand recognition is really good. Anything that says Colorwind, my stuff pops up. And for a lot of these shows, like Brawler Boys, Initial Run, Exposure Therapy, that isn't really there. Even though no one else is using those titles, I type that up and it doesn't come up in the search results. So for those playthroughs, I may keep the names for now, but most likely, well, I don't know if it's most likely. This is the thing that I still am a little undecided on. I'm thinking of changing the names of these shows to have my name in it because of the brand recognition. I hit the mic. Like, I'm kind of thinking, like, instead of Brawler Boys, maybe it's Colorwind Brawls, something like that. Initial Run, I have no idea. Exposure Therapy, I don't know either. But needless to say, the playthroughs, I will most likely keep the names for now, and then whenever I decide to do another playthrough within those shows, I'll change it. Or maybe I'll just say screw them and then wrap them up and just have them underneath Colorwind Beats from now on. But regardless of what I end up doing, whatever the branding ends up being, those playthroughs are going to be coming after Yakuza Kiwami 2. I'm assuming that Final Fantasy 2 is going to take me a while, so you're probably going to see, probably in that order, Double Dragon Neon, Quake, and then Dead Space replace Yakuza Kiwami 2. But might have the same name. It might be under Colorwind Beats. It might have a different name with my name Colorwind in it. We'll see. Finally, regarding these Let's Plays, the earliest that I am thinking I can start getting them out is the third week of January, but it'll most likely be at the end of the month and at the latest the beginning of February. So not this week, next week, most likely the third week or fourth week, possibly next month. That's what we're looking at. And with that being said, that's what Let's Play is going to be looking at right now. I'm just going to be doing 2 playthroughs, and that's it. I do want to incorporate stuff like Arcade Contender and just like one-off Let's Plays as well still, but just to start off to get me back into the swing of things with Let's Plays. And so also, I'm kind of using these playthroughs as kind of like a guinea pig to try to figure out a way to get people to watch more. These are kind of like where I'm going to be starting, and then eventually throughout the year I'll start reintroducing the other shows. They might have different names, again for the same reason of, Colorwind branding works. Like Arcade Contender, I've been thinking of changing back to Colorwind Fights, if you remember that was the original name of the show. And then Colorwind Fights Online for the online contender stuff. But regardless of that, I'll end up making another update video that will explain what I end up doing with that later on. But for now, want to just get some Let's Plays up on the channel. And Colorwind Beats, I already know is a name that's going to stay because it has the brand recognition. So I'm sticking with Colorwind Beats, the playthroughs I have that are under the Colorwind Beats name, which is Final Fantasy 2 and Yakuza Kiwami 2. Although Yakuza Kiwami 2 was Colorwind Beats Live, but now it's not going to be, so it works just fine. Okay, getting to the new stuff on the channel on YouTube. I'm going to have 4 new shows. 4 brand new shows. None of them are Let's Plays. None of them. That's important to me because I wanted to move away from Let's Plays, and I'm determined to do that. Even though I just went through this whole spiel about Let's Plays, that is not going to be the focus of the channel anymore. That's just there because I like doing them, and I don't like giving up on stuff, and I'm stubborn. So, you also might have noticed I haven't mentioned streams yet. We're getting to that. But here are the 4 new shows. There is going to be Colorwind News Weekly, Colorwind Essays, Colorwind Reviews, and Colorwind Analysis. So, the first one you're going to see is actually at the end of this week. Colorwind News Weekly is going to be me taking my news videos that I make on TikTok, compiling them into one video for YouTube, and then releasing it on Saturdays. That's going to be a weekly show. I figure because they're now a little too long for YouTube Shorts, I might as well put them in a format where the length is better for it. So now the individual episodes will be up on TikTok like normal, but then you can get caught up on all the news that I've reported on at the end of the week here on YouTube with the video that puts them all together. And even though it says Colorwind News Weekly, this is also going to compile Colorwind Gossip episodes, which is the new TikTok show that I introduced that includes stuff that's not necessarily news, but it's just more industry talk or hearsay or stuff that hasn't been formally confirmed. I'm going to include those in there and just make a note that, hey, this isn't confirmed. This is all just what people are saying around the industry, or gossip, or just tabloid kind of stuff. I'll make a note to say that. Mostly just because I usually don't release enough Colorwind Gossip episodes in order to be able to make a separate video for that alone on YouTube. So I might as well just combine it with Colorwind News. So you're going to be seeing that real soon at the end of the week. I'm going to be experimenting a little bit with the format because right now all I know that I'm going to do is get all the videos together, edit them so that they're together, and then I might maybe do a recording of myself in the beginning and the end. I don't know. It might not be necessary. We'll see. Next, we have Colorwind Essays, and this is kind of like the prime show that I've been wanting to do for so long. And technically, you've already seen it. Last year, I did a video talking about E3, and I had a whole bunch of images going by while I was talking about on what I thought about E3. And I didn't have a name for that show. Well, I finally came up with one after going back and forth between all these things, and it's Colorwind Essays, because that's what essentially that video was. It was a video essay. And this is kind of like what I really want to focus on, which is talking about video games, giving my opinion, and having a discussion about the various things that happen within the industry that are important and also that I just care about. And the goal with these essays eventually, not right away, but eventually, is to do them weekly and have them post up on Wednesdays. So it'll be the one day that a Let's Play doesn't go up. However, I don't know if I'm gonna be. I don't think I'm gonna be doing that right away because I want to make sure that I have the format down. I have decided on a format. It's gonna be different than that video that I put up. It's going to be more of me, kind of like this right now, looking at the camera and talking, although there will be a separate camera and some pictures to help illustrate what I'm talking about. But a good chunk of that video is going to be just kind of me staring at the camera, looking at you, and talking about what I need to talk about. And it'll be scripted. I'll write a script out so I make sure I don't forget anything that I want to talk about. And until I get comfortable and I learn how to do the format, the videos will just be when they're ready. And at some point, maybe towards the end of the year, I'll get it to being weekly. But I'm not going to promise when that'll happen. Just that you're going to start seeing those videos soon. I would say the first essay you'll see at the end of this month to most likely be in the beginning of February. I would actually hinge a bet it'll be most likely the beginning of February because new ideas don't do well in January. So unless I finish it early and I'm just really anxious to get the video out, you'll most likely see it in the beginning of February rather than the end of January. Next show is Colorwind Reviews, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to finally make video reviews of video games. Simple as that. I have the first game that I want to do review of already. I need to write the script, and I need to get some footage together, which I think I have plenty of, so I might not need to capture anymore. This is sort of like not the priority right now, so you're probably not going to see this show, these reviews, until sometime in February. My guess will probably be somewhere in the middle to the end. Eventually, as I get comfortable with making video reviews, that will be coming along a lot quicker as well. But that show is never going to have a schedule because it'll be depending on whenever I have a game to review. So it'll come up when it's done. Okay, and it'll usually show up as like an extra video for that day since I already have something planned with the Let's Plays and then maybe eventually Colorwind essays. So you'll probably see that in the middle to end of February, the first review. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but it's a relatively new game. It came out last year. That's all I'll say. Finally, Colorwind Analysis, the fourth show, is the rename of my show Blast Processing, or at one point you may have known it as The Next Level. And it is the big, giant breakdown, overview, review show of a game that I've been talking about since, I think, 2017. I never gave up on that idea. I still have the script from when I had done it before. And a big reason why you never saw that project was because I was self-conscious about releasing a video that I figured would be somewhere around the ballpark of an hour and a half. It was a fucking movie. But now I've kind of come to terms with what it is, and I don't care. You're going to get a straight-up movie from me with this show. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a complete breakdown of a game. It reviews it. It talks about the design of it. It talks about all the mechanics and the rules of the game. It's everything about that game that you would possibly need to know. And I give my opinion about it at the end, as well as some history about how the game was made and everything, because usually that's pertinent information. So the first game just like I said before, is Sonic the Hedgehog for the Genesis. And unlike everything else, because it has been so long, this video, it's been in the making for so long, I'm giving an actual release date, which is my birthday of this year, March 21st, 2022. There it is. That's when it's going to come out. And God help me, I will make that fucking deadline. It's nice that the script is already written. It's done. I just need to record my voiceover and, more importantly, and this is the most difficult part, edit that together. I'm going to get started on that next month. I'm giving myself a month and a half roughly to edit it. Pretty sure the metadata and the thumbnail won't be too much of a problem. I already have an idea for the thumbnail. I mean, I've had a mock one up for a long time. I think I've shown it off here. But God help me, I will make that deadline. And it will be my magnum opus. Until I make the next one. And we'll see when that happens. And with that being said, that's all that's going to be happening right now with YouTube. So you got Let's Plays to look forward to as sort of like the continuous content. And you have 4 new shows that are going to be coming out at various integrals. I don't know what word I'm trying to say right now. I'm a little in my head. Intervals. I think that's what I meant to say. Colorwind News Weekly, Colorwind Essays, Colorwind Reviews, and Colorwind Analysis. News Weekly, you're going to be getting this week. Essays and reviews you'll start getting in February. And then March 21st, 2022 will be the first Colorwind Analysis. So all that to look forward to. Let's Play is probably at the end of the month. Or the middle of the month. We'll see what happens. The absolute latest will be the beginning of February. But I don't think we'll get to that point. I think you'll see them before then. I'll make a post on Twitter of when you'll see them exactly. My Twitter is @HeyColorwind. Same as the channel almost. And now moving on, we're gonna get to Twitch, which is pretty simple because, well, quite frankly, there's not a whole lot to change. When I left Twitch, or not left Twitch, but when I last streamed, I had about 3 games that I had been streaming: Far Cry 3, Super Metroid, and Super Mario 64. I finished Super Mario 64, but I said that I would come back and do 100%. This is what I'm going to be doing. This week, I'm going to be touching on those playthroughs, and next week as well. Let me back up a little bit, okay? Starting right now in January, I'm going to try to move my way up to some sort of schedule. But first, I'm going to ease my way in with a certain amount of streams. So to start off, I'm going to start with 2 streams a week. This week, I do plan to stream actually the same day that this is going up on Monday. But I haven't decided on the second one yet. If I decide to do more than that, then great. But right now, I'm only making it mandatory that I do 2 streams a week. I am also going to experiment with doing afternoon streams, sometimes where I go up starting out 1, 2, or 3 at the latest, maybe 4. Well, it depends on the day. But essentially, January is going to be used to kind of experiment with times and days that I feel comfortable doing it, and then try to set up a schedule, because as much as I've liked doing, like, I'll just do a stream whenever I feel like it, and I do want to allow myself to do that, I think it's best if I have some sort of schedule so that you know that, hey, I will be playing games on my Twitch channel at these times. Everything else is extra, just so I can have some sort of reliability with people. I hope to eventually have a schedule by March. January is what I'm going to be using to experiment with different times. February will be the month where I try to solidify what the schedule will be, and then March will be the actual schedule in place. That's the plan. And the plan is to finish the playthroughs of those 3 games that I mentioned: Super Metroid, Super Mario 64 at 100%, and Far Cry 3. I do also want to incorporate fighting games into there again. Again, it depends on how many times I'm going to be streaming. At 2 streams a week, that's probably not enough time to be able to do like all these playthroughs and fighting games at the same time. Plus, whenever I want to do like something extra, like if a brand new game comes out and I just want to pop it in and see, I want to be able to have time to do that too. Which is why I want to get to 4 streams a week, but I'm not there yet because I'm not good at streaming. I've never been able to be consistent. But with that being said, that's sort of the plan right now with Twitch. It's just to kind of finish off some playthroughs that I had already started, and to solidify what times are good for me, as well as for the channel, because part of the reason why I'm going to try afternoon streams is because I'll hopefully be able to get more viewers that way, because I don't have a great viewership right now. So we'll see those go away. I'll once again be trying to finish playthroughs that I've started and ended. I recently, for Christmas, I got some USB Nintendo 64 controllers, and I've been in an N64 mood as a result. So my playthrough of Ocarina of Time is probably going to come back, and that's a very old one. That's like the second stream I ever did that I never finished. So probably be restarting that playthrough and starting that most likely alongside Far Cry 3 once Super Metroid and Super Mario 64 at a 100% are done, because I think those 2 playthroughs will probably take me 1 or 2 streams at the most. And that's Twitch for now. I suppose if anything else changes with those plans, check my Twitter. Moving on to TikTok. Right now I have 4 shows on TikTok. Colorwind News, Colorwind Gossip, Colorwind Reacts, and Colorwind Talks. And I have tweaked and molded those videos over the past year to the point that I am essentially happy with how they are. The last changes were made to Colorwind Reacts. I think reaction videos for me work a little better on TikTok than they do on YouTube, most likely because they're, again, it's shorter content. But by the end of this month, I would like to introduce 2 more shows, so to have a grand total of 6. And it'll be one that I've kind of teased, and another that I've been also teasing, but you didn't realize I was. The 2 shows are Colorwind Buyer's Guide and Colorwind New Releases. And they're sort of what they sound like. Colorwind Buyer's Guide is telling you essentially whether or not you should buy a game or not, or wait for a sale, or just pass it, rent it maybe. A lot of people look to reviews to kind of tell them whether or not they should buy a game, and that's not really the point of reviews. They're to tell you whether or not it's good, which is not the same thing as whether or not you should buy it. But I understand the need for that, and I also understand that to tell someone whether or not they can buy it or whether or not they get their money's worth is not really dependent on whether or not the game is good, rather than if the game gives you value for the price. So, Colorwind Buyer Guide will essentially me giving you my quick impressions of the games, telling you why it's good and everything, and then breaking down why this game is good to either buy or wait for sale or something along the lines. I have a rating scale of buy, rent, sale, or pass. And the first game that you'll see is Psychonauts 2. It'll be by the end of January at some point. It's going to be a little bit different because that is going to be a show that's going to be edited for TikTok. So there's a little more effort going into there. Not a whole lot. It's mostly still going to be me talking. But there's a little more effort being put into that show. The second one, Colorwind New Releases, is me just running down the new releases that come out that day. I I haven't entirely decided the format. At first, I think I'm gonna try to do this weekly, maybe on a Monday or maybe the weekend, maybe Saturday. I'm not entirely sure, but this idea needs a lot of work, and I've decided that just like the other shows, I'm probably gonna get it right by just kind of jumping in and doing it and just making changes as I go along. So bear with me when it comes to that show because it's gonna take a while to get it right. I've also thought about maybe doing it daily and just picking out the new releases from that day as opposed to that whole week. I think it depends on what ends up being more useful in terms of that information. It is also going to break down like new DLC releases and new patches that change stuff in the video game. So both of those ideas will be introduced by the end of January. I'll probably make some sort of post or something on Twitter or on TikTok when those shows are going to show up. So please be excited for that. Other than that, there is another show that I know is going to happen, but I just need more time to plan it. But it's just, I can tell you already what it is, which is Colorwind history. I did make a couple of videos in the past where I talked about video game history on TikTok, and I think the reception was actually good because it got a lot of engagement. It got comments. So I've been wanting to make that a show, but it's just I haven't entirely put together how I want that to be formatted. So just know that it's coming. It has a name, Colorwind History, and I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. But that is on the horizon. And finally, WordPress. This is nice and easy just because I haven't been really doing much on WordPress, and my goal is to do stuff on WordPress. I already have article shows, or I shouldn't call them shows, but recurring article themes that I can work with, and I just need to write, content for. My goal is to do at least 2 articles a week, and maybe move that eventually to 3. We'll see how that goes. But one of the articles that'll be easy to do is my gaming landscape, which I'm going to bring back as a written article. In all honesty, I still don't know entirely what to do about my gaming landscape. I feel like maybe that idea needs to evolve in a much bigger way. But I do know that it definitely works as a written post as opposed to a video post, just because I have to capture footage of games even when I'm playing them just casually for myself, and it's something that I have to keep in the back of my head while I'm playing something, and that's not good whenever you want to just play video games to have fun. Whereas doing it as a written post doesn't need that level of thought. And it works also as a weekly post because they tend to not be very long. So it's something that I can get out there, do. I have had success with that in the past. I haven't too recently, but I think it's just because I need to market it better. Usually before, it was when I had my post on like the IGN boards or the 1UP blogs, all of which I don't think exist anymore. But I know that as a written post, I myself at the very least like doing it. So if anything, one of the articles every week will be a gaming landscape, and then you'll get something else. Eventually you get 2 things else. And this week is actually a good idea because we have a whole bunch of like New Year's stuff that I'm going to write about, like what I did during the holiday break and my New Year's resolutions, and then the update post that's going to be talking about what I'm talking about here, but over there. And I want to make sure that I really keep up with these articles and come up with stuff for it, because that's really my wheelhouse, and it also helped me to maybe get a position at a writing website, a video game journalism website rather, which I haven't had for a couple of years now. and I want to, because that income, right? And with that being said, that is everything on my list. We have a hefty half an hour video here of me just rambling, talking about what my plans are. I think this is a solid plan. I like that I'm giving myself time to get this stuff out. If anything changes and I'm not able to get some of these things or ideas done or whatever, I'll make sure to update you guys on Twitter at Hey Colorwind. But I feel pretty confident that as long as I just take my time and do things correctly and with purpose and not just rush things, everything will work out and it'll come out great. If it's late, it's late. I mean, that's what I'm even looking at some of the stuff of, like, when it's ready, which in that case it can never be late, right? So there's a big thing also with me as well. This year I'm trying to take better care of myself, not let myself get too enveloped in work, so I can have a healthy mental state, and also take care of myself physically. Start eating better, stop gorging. Quite frankly, that's a problem with me. I eat emotionally, and doing some more exercising. And that way, I'll be at my best for you guys. And that's it for now. I guess just so you know, this week you can look forward to news videos and TikToks, these update videos, a few New Year stuff on WordPress, and a couple streams on Twitch, and a news weekly video this coming Saturday. So look forward to all that. I hope to see you all in those videos. Please, if you like those videos, please give me a like and a comment on the video so I get engagement, and share the videos so that other people will engage in the video. Subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. All this stuff just helps to kind of get myself up into the YouTube algorithm, which seems to just be completely avoiding me. But all you need is one video to go viral or to just do relatively well, right? So I hope that you see that a lot of my goals with all this content is to inform, not necessarily to entertain. That's really what I'm trying to do more than anything else. Because I think, especially with the way that the world is and the video game industry in general is, what we really need right now is to be well informed, to have knowledge, so that a lot of the bad things that are happening, especially within the industry, are not unchallenged, and something is done about them as a result, as opposed to just ignoring them or just pushing it off to the side because hype, man. And that's everything. Thank you very much for watching this update video. Peace and love, gamers and players. Colorwind out.